What's up YouTube, Papa Snorlax here. For today's video I've got a quick deck update before we head to locals. I made a few changes to the list and I wanted to go over what I adjusted and why. Before we jump into the changes, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on future Gundam roulettes, deck profiles, and Gundam TCG content. Alright, let's dive in. So the main changes you'll notice right away is that I added 4 copies of the 2-drop Zelote. After playtesting, I noticed the deck is still a little slow to get started. If I run into an aggro deck and don't open with a solid starting hand, it can be hard to slow down the early damage and keep pace with my opponent. Zelotes help give the deck a better early game presence and make those faster matchups a little bit more manageable. To make room for them, I dropped Sword Impulse down to 1 copy, so now I'm running one of the 4-2 version and one of the 3-3 version. I normally don't like running one-offs, but with these cards, the goal is to hit them off with Minerva base, drop them into the trash, and then bring them back later with Destiny or Impulse Gundam. I also dropped Shin down to 3 copies. He's still good and he links well in the mid to late game, but I don't really want to see him too early compared to cards like Amuro and Mikazuki. He just doesn't do enough in the early turns to justify maxing him out. And lastly, I cut the 2 copies of the Force Impulse Gundam. His effect is solid, but I wanted to lower the curve and make the deck smoother overall. Plus, Destiny Gundam is usually going to do what Force wants to do, but better. For the final change, I swapped the 2 copies of Giant Killing for Fatal Strikes. Honestly, both the cards are pretty situational, but after testing, Giant Killing just felt too heavy. Being a turn 4 3-cost play made it awkward, especially when I'd rather see this type of removal early in the game. Fatal Strike being only 2 costs makes it much easier to use when I actually need it. Overall, these are the changes that I made to lower the deck's curve and help it transition to the mid-game a bit more smoothly, especially when going up against aggro decks. So let me know what you think of the changes. In tomorrow's episode of Gundam Roulette, I'll break down how this deck performed today at locals. I'm Papa Snorlax, and thanks for watching.